The Truth About Actress, Singer Glaiza de Castro. Glaiza de Castro, born January 21, 1988, is a Filipina actress and singer. After beginning her career in GMA in 2001, she transferred to its rival network, ABS-CBN, where she played mostly minor and supporting roles before returning to GMA in 2006. During the first 2 years of her second stint with GMA, she continued to play supporting roles in series such as Boys NXT Door and Asian Treasures before landing a lead role in the television remake of the film Kaputal Ng Sang Ait. She appeared in villain roles in the remix of Kung Agawan Mo Ang Lahad sa Akin and Stairway to Heaven, and on the musical series Diva before finally achieving leading lady status in the fantasy series Griselda in 2010. In addition to her television appearances, she has also acted in a number of mainstream and independent films, including Sukab, Patakal, Batanes, and Still Life. She leads also in a top-rating primetime series called The Rich Man's Daughter. As a singer, de Castro has so far released 3 albums: Magbalag Ka, released in 2001, the self-titled Glaiza, released in 2006, and Synthesis, released in 2015. In April 4, 2016, de Castro was announced as she played the role of Purina in the 2016 remake of Encantadia. She has a height of 168 centimeters. Early life and work. Glaiza de Castro was born on January 21, 1988, in Valenzuela City, a city in the northern part of the Philippines' National Capital Region, to a family of born-again Baptists. Her parents are both musicians who have performed in countries all across Asia. Her uncle, Dan Alvaro, and her brother, Alcris Calura, are also actors. As a child, de Castro sang at her local ministry as a member of a children's choir. Later on, in high school, she formed a band with her friends, where she acted as both songwriter and vocalist. She is also the niece of Miguel Castro Enriquez or Mike Enriquez, who became a TV personality in GMA Network. De Castro began her career in show business between the ages of 12 to 13 by appearing as an extra. She had several appearances on the late-night talk show, Walang Tulugan with the Master Showman, which was followed by a role in the 2001 movie Cool Dudes 24/7. Acting career, early career, minor roles on television and in movies. 2002 to 2006, de Castro began her career with GMA7 playing a minor role in the soap opera Ikaw Ang Mamahalan. However, after only a few months with the company, she transferred to rival network ABS-CBN and became a contracted artist of Star Magic, the company's training ground for young talent. During her time in ABS-CBN, she continued to play both supporting and minor roles, 2 of the most prominent being the role of Hallie in the teen-oriented show, Berks. Between 2002 and 2005, she would only appear in films sporadically, playing bit parts in movies such as Sing Sing Ni Lola, 2002, and Miss Pinoy, 2005. By 2006, she began to appear in films more frequently, with minor parts in the horror films Sukab and White Lady, as well as the Manny Pacquiao biopic, Pacquiao, the movie. Her most prominent film role during this point in her career was as a minor antagonist in the film adaptation of Carlo Vergara's graphic novel, Jaja's Eterna. The film was an entry to the 2006 Metro Manila Film Festival. Return to GMA and breakout roles. 2006 to 2008, after 4 years with ABS-CBN, de Castro returned to its rival GMA network in 2006. One of her first roles back was as Honey on the fantasy adventure series, Fantastic Kids, where she starred alongside Marquis Cielo, Jackie Rice and Riza Senan, as well as former child star Paolo Contis and former beauty queen Melanie Marquez. The reception to the show was mostly warm. Journalist Paul Daza of the Philippine Daily Inquirer compared it favorably to its counterpart on ABS-CBN, Fantasy Drama Anthology Comics, and commented that, based on ratings, it would seem like the new GMA7 stars are outshining the more established ABS-CBN performers. At this time, she also performed regularly on GMA's regular Sunday variety show, SOP Rules. In 2007, De Castro appeared in the afternoon teen drama Boys NXT Door. The series has been dubbed in Malay on the Malaysian Channel 8 TV and became the first Filipino drama to air in South Korea, via KBS2. The second role was in the 2007 action-adventure series, Asian Treasures, GMA7's most expensive show to date. De Castro played Clara, an expert on history and geography who would use this knowledge to help the main characters find the titular treasures. 2007 also saw her featured prominently in the independent film Still Life, a film written and directed by Katsuki Flores, about an artist stricken with a terminal illness who has traveled to an isolated island to paint his last work. In the film, De Castro plays Emma, a woman who relates her past to the main character. Her portrayal of Emma was noted by film critic Tito Valenti of Business Mirror as one reason the short life on that island becomes very real. Valenti went on to note that De Castro's character was vulnerable but not whiny. Even in tears she conjures an image of a woman whose only way out of life is finding life in anything. The film was a finalist at that year's Cinemalaya Philippine Independent Film Festival, where De Castro received a Golden Screen Awards nomination in the Best Actress category. She also played a supporting role that year in the romantic film Batanes, alongside top GMA actress Isla Calzado, Taiwanese singer-actor Ken Chu, and Marquis Cielo. The following year, 2008, she started shooting another independent film, Rock and Roll. The film is based on director Quark Henner's views on growing up in the local rock scene, as well as his own personal experiences in starting a band. De Castro described the film, which was still in production as of March 2009, as a lighter version of Almost Famous and a fun, feel-good movie. In 2008, she played the lead role in the television adaptation of the 1991 film, Kaputal Ng Sang Ait. In the series, De Castro played Sarah Monteza, a poor girl with a good voice but low self-esteem. De Castro herself would later go on to say that the role was her biggest break thus far. 2009-present, Career Resurgence. After another supporting role in the television adaptation of comic book writer Carlo J. Capara's graphic novel Gagambino, De Castro once again landed a lead role on another television adaptation of a Filipino film, Kung Agawan Mo Ang Lahat sa Akin, opposite Patrick Garcia, Maxine Magalona, Jackie Rice and J.C. Tuseco. In the series she played the primary antagonist, Gladys Andrada, a role originated by co-star Jackie Lou Blanco, the jealous, only biological child of Gilbert, played by Nani Buencamino, and Clara Andrada, played by Blanco. Her portrayal was well received. Columnist Jason John Lim commented that while she knew she was breaking out of her comfort zone, what she didn't know that she would also begin breaking the expectations of everybody. Right after Kung Agawan Mo Ang Lahat sa Akin, she played another supporting role on an episode of the drama anthology SRO Cinemazari, which chronicled the life story of singer Eva Castillo, portrayed in this episode by Manolin Rains. Shortly thereafter, she landed another role as the primary antagonist in the Philippine remake of the widely popular Korean television drama, Stairway to Heaven, alongside Ding Dong Dantes, Reen Ramos and TJ Trinidad. She portrayed Eunice Manansala, serving as the counterpart for Han Yuri, played by actress Kim Tae-hee, the envious stepsister of Jody Reyes, played by Reen Ramos. To prepare for the role, De Castro watched the original series in order to attempt to get an idea of who her character was as a person. De Castro also commented on the relative complexity of her character in this series compared to her character in Kung Agawan Mo Ang Lahat sa Akin. Unlike my previous role, you don't know what is going on inside the mind of Eunice. What's going inside her head is really devious. She is subtle in her approach and very scheming. Despite being evil, she still has a heart, and there's a reason she became a bad person. If she is stepping down on people, she is also being stepped on by other people. She also has to fulfill her needs and wants, and she will do everything for the person she loves. As with her two previous major roles, her portrayal was also well received by critics. Jerry Donato of the Philippine Star, in particular, has gone so far to say that so far, Glaiza has given her Korean counterpart a run for her money. In 2009, De Castro appeared in 5 films. In the first, The independent political thriller Bentesh replaced former Starstruck contestant and fellow GMA star Jewel Mish when the latter refused to film a sex scene she considered beyond her moral standards. As directed by Mel Choenglo, the film was released in June 2009 and received mixed reviews, with Rito Asillo of the Philippine Daily Inquirer citing its thematic substance and Gomez's and Colazado's insightful performances, while also going on to blast the film's disparate stories, incohesive feel and style, and sudden ending in a convenient anticlimax. The second film was the horror movie Tarot, released on August 26. The film, about a girl who is able to predict the future through the use of tarot cards, was directed by John Lana and was top-billed by Marian Rivera and Dennis Trillo. A third film, Ang Manghula, was released commercially in September. It had been shown at the Manila International Film Festival the previous year. The film was directed by Paulo Harris and saw De Castro playing the daughter of Messina, played by Eula Valdez, a seer. The production was received warmly, with Nalani Tor of the Philippine Daily Inquirer noting its fascinating subject matter, colorful cast and visual richness and clarity. The fourth film De Castro starred in that year was the independent film Astig, international title, Squalor, alongside Sid Lucero, Edgar Allan Guzman, Arnold Reyes and Dennis Trillo, who also directed the film. In Astig, De Castro playing Elgin, a teenager afflicted with a sexually transmitted disease who eventually becomes the love interest of Trillo's character. The film, released in July of that year, was a critical and financial success, topping the box office in that year's Cinemalaya Film Festival, with a profit of P137,890.00. Darwin Choeng of News TV called the film's cinematography remarkable and praised the cast as a whole, saying, "The movie gathers an ensemble of actors that deliver in the acting department, even those in supporting roles like Glaiza de Castro and Malug Crisologo." Her performance in this film earned her a nomination in the Best Supporting Actress category at the 33rd Gawad Urian Awards. The fifth film was the sixth film under the Monopo banner, subtitled A Mother's Love. The film, directed by Joel Lamangan and top-billed by Sharon Cuneta, Jaja Padilla, Heart Evangelista and Dennis Trillo, saw De Castro playing a younger version of Cuneta's character, Melinda Uy. The film was released on December 25 and was an entry to that year's annual Metro Manila Film Festival. Her first project on GMA for 2010 was in another villain role in what was billed as the Philippines' first musical, comedy drama series, Diva, which debuted on GMA Network on March 1, 2010 and ended on July 30 of that year. The show, which also starred Regine Velasquez, Mark Anthony Fernandez, T.J. Trinidad and singer Jaya, and is partly based on the American movie trilogy High School Musical and the American television series Glee, saw De Castro playing the ambitious Tiffany, who is Ladies, Rafa May Quinto, assistant and soon-to-be a villainess to singer-actress Regine Velasquez's heroine Melody. After Diva, De Castro auditioned for and won the title role on the primetime fantasy series Griselda. The show, a sequel to the Cinderella story, centers on Griselda, who is in turn based on one of Cinderella's wicked stepsisters, Drizella. The plot revolves around Griselda's banishment from her home world of Fantasia to the human world, where she suffers a fate similar to Cinderella's. The series, which premiered on September 13, 2010, also stars Jeff Eigenman, Yasmin Kurdi, Jolina McDaniel and Sherry Gill, and marks De Castro's first lead role in a primetime series. Prior to the show's debut, the actress was constantly quoted as being unable to believe her success. She had by then been accustomed to playing only villainous roles and expected to do so for the remainder of her career. The show was both a critical and commercial success, beating its rival show 1DOL by a margin of 5 points in the AGB Mega Manila ratings. In light of the show's success, De Castro's manager, Manny Valera, has decided to turn down any further villain roles on behalf of his talent in order to build her up as a lead star. On October 30, it was announced that De Castro would no longer be cast in the remake of the film Temptation Island and would instead be launched as a lead star in the 2011 remake of the 1992 film Aswang, produced by Regal Films with film director Topo Lee. But her lead role went to Lovie Poe instead. De Castro later played the major role in an epic drama Amaya, opposite Marian Rivera and Sid Lucero. In 2012, De Castro first appeared on Tweets for My Sweet, playing the role of Kimberly, the long-lost daughter and a sister to Meg, which is portrayed by Marian Rivera, and on the third quarter of the year she was chosen to be cast on the Philippine adaptation of Temptation of Wife, playing the antagonist role, Heidi, which is originally by Alessandra De Rossi, when she declined the role. In 2013, De Castro will co-star Vampire Ang Daddy Ko, which is top-billed by Vic Soto and Oya Boy Soto. In 2015, another major role has landed to De Castro's career. She played the role of Althea Guevara in the hit TV lesbian series, The Rich Man's Daughter, alongside Rain Ramos. In 2016, she played the role of Purina in the hit Telefantasia, Encantadia, originally by Sunshine Dizon. Other works. On March 2016, De Castro was part of UN Women's Safe Cities program, a program that aims to increase the awareness and stop street harassment and sexual violence against women in public spaces. As part of the program, De Castro was part of Quezon City's campaign against sexual harassment. Music. De Castro has so far released 2 albums. The first one, titled Magbalik Ka, was released under XIX Music Entertainment, in 2001, when she was 13. 5 years later, she released a second album, the self-entitled Glaiza, this time released under Dinner Records. The latter album, described by De Castro herself as more defined compared to her first album, comprises pop and R&B songs, and contains mostly original content except for 2 songs, a Tagalog version of Joey Alber's song, How Can I Make You See, titled Pano in the album, and an English version of Ding Dong Avanzado's Basta Kasama Kita. When asked why it took her half a decade to release a second album, De Castro explained that after the first album was completed, she did not renew her contract with the record company and instead focused on her television career. In June 2008, Glaiza was officially launched, 2 years after the album was released. In 2015, De Castro launched her third, self-produced album Synthesis. She had her mall shows regarding this album. It was her most successful album so far. Personal life. She also maintained a close friendship with consistent on-screen partner Marquis Cielo for a significant part of the latter's career until his death in 2008. In the wake of her friend's death, De Castro recounted an exchange she had the day before Cielo died. She told Cielo about a dream she had about him and Rich Asuncion. According to her, Cielo had other people tell him they had dreams about him, which he took to be an omen of death. Despite gaining wider recognition for her roles as a villain in Kung Aga and Mo Ang Lahad Sarakin and Stairway to Heaven, De Castro has reportedly had qualms about portraying a villain again in future projects. Of this, she commented, "I don't want to be typecast as an antagonist forever because it's difficult to get rid of that sort of image." However, she has expressed preference for antagonist roles over sexy roles. She later retracted this statement, saying that she didn't think she'd get typecast because she plays different kinds of women each time, and explained this by saying, "The stories are different, so her characters' motivations are also different." Although she had, in the past, considered posing for magazines such as FHM for Instant Fame and Fortune, she eventually decided against it and opted to hone her craft as a serious actress, saying, "I just want to start on the right foot by focusing more on acting than diverting my attention to other interests. I want to become an actress and to show what I can do." She has also expressed interest in playing out-of-the-box and extreme roles, in the vein of Natalie Portman in V for Vendetta and Charlize Theron in Monster. In 2008, she spoke of her preference for independent film, commenting in Taglish, "As for me, I feel fulfilled in indie films. I'm given roles in indie projects that are heavier compared to the mainstream. And I'm rarely offered roles in mainstream films anyway." Synthesis soundtracks: 1. Dusk Till Dawn, 2. Sayo Parin, 3. Country Tree, 4. Waiting Shed, 5. Pag-ikot, 6. Makachurok, 7. Barcelona, 8. Memo. Thanks for watching the video. My channel regularly posts new videos. Remember to subscribe to watch and share videos if you see a great video, and thank you of mainstream and independent films, including Sukab, Patagal, Batanes, and Still Life. She leads also in a top-rating primetime series called The Rich Man's Daughter. As a singer, De Castro has so far released 3 albums: Magbalik Ka, released in 2001, the self-titled Glaiza, released in 2006, and Synthesis, released in 2015. In April 4, 2016, De Castro was announced as she played the role of Pirina in the The Truth About actress, singer Glaiza de Castro. Glaiza de Castro, born January 21, 1988, is a Filipina actress and singer. After beginning her career in GMA in 2001, she transferred to its rival network, ABS-CBN, where she played mostly minor and supporting roles before returning to GMA in 2006. During the first 2016 remake of Encantadia, she has a height of 168 centimeters. Early life and work. Glaiza de Castro was born on January 21, 1988, in Valenzuela City, a city in the northern part of the Philippines' National Capital Region, to a family of born-again Baptists. Her parents are both musicians who have performed in countries all across Asia. Her uncle, Dan Alvaro, and her brother, Alcris Calura, are also actors. As a child, De Castro sang at her local ministry as a member of a children's choir. Later on, in high school, she formed a band with her friends, where she acted as both songwriter and vocalist. She is also the niece of Miguel Castro Enriquez, or Mike Enriquez, who became a TV personality in GMA Network. De Castro began her career in show business between the ages of 12 to 13 by appearing as an extra. She had several appearances on the late-night talk show. 2 years of her second stint with GMA, she continued to play supporting roles in series such as Boys NXT Door and Asian Treasures before landing a lead role in the television remake of the film Kaputal Ng Sang Ait. She appeared in villain roles in the remix of Kung Agaw Mo Ang Lahad sa Akin and Stairway to Heaven, and on the musical series Diva before finally achieving leading lady status in the fantasy series Griselda in 2010. In addition to her television appearances, she has also acted in a number of